Welcome back, guys. In today's episode, we'll be discussing why investors lose money, especially new investors. It seems like nowadays with social media, investing seems to be sold off as a get-rich-quick scheme. That's not only untrue, but it sets an unrealistic expectation, and it contributes to a bad mindset for all investors, especially new investors. So today, I'll be making you more aware of the pitfalls and challenges you may be facing in your investment journey. I'll also be sharing a story with you of what I consider to be my biggest investment mistake so far. So stick around. Alright, so the portfolio currently sits at 470, and we've lost just about 3%. So for those of you who are new, these are our current holdings. Now what I want to do here is I want to jump into a quick story about my biggest mistake in investing, and it involves this company right here, Iron Mountain. So if you see this video here, you can see these boxes. What this lady's doing is she's carrying out paper for companies that have all their documents. It could be financial, whatever, secrets, who knows, right? But what they do is they either shred them, they scan them, or they just store them, okay? But that's what they did back in the day. Now they have all these data centers, the document scanning, they have, the cloud, everything. But I didn't know that that was what was going to come ahead. So in 2016, I started investing in them. I bought them for just about on average of $30 a share. I didn't have much in the company, but I was invested in them and I was excited for them until COVID hit, and I was like, oh, well, they're only paper. No one's going out. I might as well sell them. They're going to go away. They're going to collapse. Boy, was I wrong, because look at this. They adjusted to the times and I was proven wrong. If I had known and looked at their revenue and realized that they would have been good, they would have been all set. If I had known to look at their net income, I probably would have been all set. So this right here, these big adjustments, this data center, the document scanning, secure storage, all this stuff that they adjusted to do, they improved, they made advances. Now just a side note for this is, if you don't know what a data center is, this is what a data center looks like. This is the inside. That's it. There may be a reception office or whatever in some offices, but this is it for the most part. And also, this is what it looks like on the outside. And another side note, if you have any friends, or if you're one yourself who is one of those climate activists, the greenhouse gases, but you use Amazon, or here, I have this list of companies with the most data centers: Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Facebook, all this stuff. So if you use any of those companies, they have probably tens to hundreds of these all around the United States, really all around the world too. And if you see these on top of the roof, that's all AC. So just imagine how much electricity these places are pulling. And if you live around here, these things are loud. Just look up the complaints about these things. So just getting back on topic here, if I had just been patient and looked into the company, then I would have known. So let's get into the topics of today. So the first topic is lack of knowledge and research. When it comes to making mistakes and the pitfalls of investing, what people don't really pay attention to is their lack of knowledge and research. A lot of people don't understand the fundamentals, like what I was doing. I didn't understand the fundamentals. I didn't know to look at the total revenues. I didn't know to look at the operating income. I didn't know to look at their net income, their payout ratio. If I had known, I probably never would have bought Iron Mountain, because this is an absolutely absurd payout ratio. So you just have to educate yourself, and you have to find a strategy that works for you. If you don't have anything, if you can't find a company that fits in your strategy, then you don't have to buy them. I probably had 50 companies in my portfolio, and I was just doing everything like a loose cannon. And you can't do that. You have to learn statements, financials. You have to look at a company's dividends. There's all these things that you have to know. And you have to study the business, like what I didn't know. I didn't know that they were going to be building data centers and getting into more, integrating to more online. if I had known that, I probably wouldn't have sold. But going back to that PE ratio, I probably wouldn't have bought them in the first place. So number 2 is emotional decision making. Guys, I struggle with this one a lot, and I've learned to tame it. I always want to buy everything that, I see a new product come out, and I'm like, oh, I got to have that company. If I see other people getting in on it and they're making a lot of money on it, I really got to get in on that too, right? Who doesn't want to do that? So my number one advice is just be level-headed, right? So if you're not level-headed, a company like this will sneak up on you. You have to, if everybody's buying Iron Mountain, you don't have to. So you have to develop your long-term plan, and you have to stick to it. Number 3 is lack of diversification. So if I go back to our portfolio here, this is a fairly diversified portfolio. And what I mean about diversification is not just, oh, well, I have a company in tech, I have a company in the financials, I have a company in consumer. It's also different regions of the country, because, one side of the country, like Hawaii, for instance, right now, well, if all of your stocks, if you only owned, let's say, whatever Hawaiian bank, then you're currently screwed. So just think about that when you're investing. Diversify. Don't just own one stock, but at the same time, you guys, you don't need, 500 stocks. You have the S&P 500 with an ETF, but you don't need 500 individual stocks that you're trying to manage yourself. You just don't need to do it. Number 4 is day trading. Imagine logging in every day when the market opens and just gambling. You're looking at something like this. It's even more complicated. And you think that you can target the highs and the lows, and then you're just going to buy it. Guys, if you don't gamble right now, if you aren't, football season's coming up. If you're not a gambler, why do it with finances? Especially if you don't know a lot about it. Why gamble on finances? You don't need to do it. It's addictive. It's very, very addictive. Gambling is addictive, and you will lose money. No one wins. They don't build tall buildings in Vegas for no reason, okay? So the last one that I have for you guys is don't follow the crowd. So I gave an example before here. I'll go to it now, actually. I want to show you guys this. NVIDIA. So I still have FOMO of this one, but I did this thing where I didn't want to follow the crowd, and I think I did the right thing, because right about in this area, everybody was buying NVIDIA, and I was like, man, I really want to get in on NVIDIA, and they're still talking about it today. If you turn on Mad Money on CNBC, they'll still talk about NVIDIA almost, once or twice a week, every week. I really wanted to buy. I had FOMO. I had fear of missing out, and I ended up not buying. And I think it was a good decision, because I would be spending majority of my money on NVIDIA. And they're only paying 0.03% of a yield, so it doesn't really fit my investing strategy. I didn't have a plan, but I stayed away anyways. So I kind of pat myself on the back for that. But if your buddy's going in and buying NVIDIA, you don't have to go in and buy NVIDIA. So those are just some things to think about. And I think those are really the top 5 reasons why investors fail, is because they really just have no plan. They have no discipline. Okay? Having discipline is huge. So just to recap, it's lack of knowledge and research, emotional decision making. You want to stay away from emotional decision making, guys. Be disciplined. Lack of diversification, day trading, and do not follow the crowd. Thanks for watching, guys.